So what would you like to be different, Ricky? Share with me.
Yeah, it's because I found you see it seems you always have things to share with people, and like every day to you is different and it's fun. But to me, most of the time I think the day is the same. And so my question is how to found the difference maybe in daily life because I just cannot say I just think the most of the day are same. I don't know what
A
happened.
sense of just routineness and sameness, and one day doesn't seem any different than the next day, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, tell me about. I'm sure there's some time in your life that you can remember, that was different, like some specific days or even a week stood out, you know. Can you think of one of those times?
Yeah,
How about that time that week we went together, you know? Uh,
it's totally different and
yeah.
fun. Yeah,
hmm And even each day was different than the day before, right? Mhm.
yeah,
All
exactly.
right. So it's not entirely true that you do have days, weeks like that sort of thing that are memorable that could be fun to share about with people, or maybe you're learning something from them, or a sense
Yeah.
of adventure or whatever. Um, have you and I ever talked about what I call like life inspirations, or like life essences?
Mm, I'm not sure. Maybe not. Life in.
Well, what I mean by these words, I'll just use the word life inspirations, is, and they'll be different for every person. Like these are sort of, you're like each person's unique signature. Um, and most of us actually have those life inspirations sort of buried, like they in the issue of like surviving in life and doing the right thing, stuff like it. It's like a part of us that we push down and we're not even aware of it. That there's a part of us like if we could be in touch with those life inspirations, then so much else just flows naturally out of that. And to illustrate this, I'll share with you my own life inspirations, which I discovered at one point. They were always there, but it was like getting clear about what they were. All right, and mine are adventure, play, curiosity, and connection. So, like when I'm having a feeling of play, or adventure, or curiosity, or connection with people, then I'm happy, and like and I can flow with things, and usually I've seen things happen, out of that. And so, and a lot of my life is designed so that to easily express those. For example, my life as a life coach. Think about life coaching. It's like, at least for me, like talking with you. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what you're going to say. It's adventure, right? And I have a sense of play about it, and I'm of course very curious too. What's going to what's going to come out of this? And also, I have a feeling of connection with you, you know. So now, these are just examples of mine, all right? Another person it might be a sense of community. It might be a sense of even family, it could be a sense of peacefulness might be very important. I mean, hundreds of possible life inspirations, But a
Mhm.
life inspiration is not something that's trying to fix something. You have to be careful about this because people sometimes come up with life inspiration. So, like I want to be keep my word with myself. But their main reason is so they can avoid, upsets about this or that. It's not like they just love keeping their word. Okay, so
Mhm.
it's sort of almost independent, you know, of
Yeah.
so it could be helpful with you if we discovered your life inspiration,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then once you did, then you start to ask, okay, how can I, in terms of maybe the things I'm going to do in the day or new things you might put in the day, uh, uh, how could they be expressions of your life inspiration, or how could you bring your life inspirations to those, you know?
Yeah.
Because even what you might call a very boring circumstance, I can still ask myself the question, how can I be curious about this, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah. Yeah.
or even how I can bring adventure to this.
Yeah.
So there's a link on my website that lists a bunch of life inspirations. Let me see if I can go to that quickly, and then because it might be helpful for me just to list them quickly and to help you begin to get a sense of which ones might fit you. Um, hmm, no, just a second. Why is this search? Okay, here's one. Okay. So there's actually a link on my website called Undoing Shoulds, Colored Glasses That Fit. So another way to think of this is like the colored glasses.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna, maybe I can even share the screen with you just a moment here. Right? Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see.
So the glasses of gratitude, play, anticipation, adventure, curiosity, creativity, enthusiasm, invention, design, magic, miracles, confidence, connection, compassion for others, self-compassion, being your own best friend, fan, understanding, intimacy, masculinity, femininity, contribution, resolve, unstoppability, being a champion for others, team, community, humanity, partnership, participation, reliability, rigor, courage, challenge, self-awareness, inner seeking and exploring, sharing, authenticity, gifts, like everything is a gift. Everything is for me, not against me. Glasses of abundance. Everything and everyone was put here just for me. Uh, Loving what is. Life is my buffet. Newborn eyes of awe and amazement. Glasses of a 3-year-old boy or girl. Fascination, innocence, acceptance, love, presence, movement. Uh, some people are really into being so present with their physicality, their movement. Sensuality, serenity, peace, surrender, mystic, kindness, romance, decisiveness, connection with God, with the universe, obedience to how things are, wisdom, focus, lightheartedness, spontaneity, freedom, spirituality, enlightenment, oneness and no separation of the eternal now, dancing with reality, uniqueness and specialness, enthusiasm, being 100% responsible, and being a force in the world to be reckoned with. So these are just possible life inspirations that may, and I would recommend that we don't get more than 2 or 3. Maybe I mentioned 4 to you, but like 4 is the max. It doesn't mean that you can't relate to a lot of them, but the fact is, some are going to be more easily prominent and like fit who you really are deep in your being or your soul. Thoughts, feedback?
Oh, yeah, I think, yeah, I think it's really helpful to me. And now I don't know my life inspiration right now, but I will found it, yeah, later. And yeah, I've got something new. Like now I found the different, today. Yeah.
Well, okay, that's good that you can look at them later, but let's try to choose one possible one. It doesn't mean it's going to be the one or whatever, but out of all those that I read, did 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 you have a thought or feeling that, hey, yeah, that's being that way really is attractive to me?
Let me think about it. Maybe 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 you know maybe it's play. Play is more.
Okay, all right. Yeah, a lot of people can relate to play. Okay,
Uh,
so and you can always ask the question, how could I bring play to this? Or how can I bring playfulness to this? Like, no matter what you're doing, right?
yeah.
Or if you're alone and doing something, or with somebody else, you could say, how can I be playful in the interactions with this person, you know?
Yeah.
And and also, now that's just it's two different ways to approach it. Both of them is important. It's like because no matter what you're doing, you can always look at bringing play to it. But some things can seem to be more playful than others, right? Just naturally.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
say, if you're doing your accounting, maybe that doesn't so easily feel playful, right? Even though it could. All right. Whereas if you're uh, exploring a new city, walking down the street, that's maybe more likely to feel playful. So,
Yeah.
so maybe in the beginning of your day, you might ask yourself, okay, let's design or put in at least 15 minutes a day, something to do that's just occurs to me as very playful to do, you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like set aside just a certain amount of time or a certain context just for you to have fun playing in. So, like what would be an example of something you might set aside for play, like it could be different than you normally maybe would do in the routine of your life.
Yeah. Playful. No, maybe just go out, find something new physically,
Okay, go
in
out
the
and just go out and not maybe even know exactly where you're going and see what new things you can see. Yeah. Or
yeah.
how about walking down the sidewalk and winking at every man that passes?
But yeah, yeah, pardon. I didn't.
I just made this up. I don't know who would fit you. Walking down the sidewalk and
Uh-huh.
winking at every man that
Uh-huh.
passes you to see what happens, to see how strange or uncomfortable or delightful you can make them feel. Uh, but something, of course, this is what is play for you, because what's play for one person, not necessarily another one, right?
Yeah.
But if you did something like that, that would probably be something that would be memorable, or could be memorable, or could share. Like,
Yeah.
of course, I'm on holiday, but um, 3 days ago, I went out to a nearby park, botanical garden from where I live. And I just noticed that there was this group of kids, maybe one or two adults and a group of kids, and they seemed to have some sort of special uniform on. And as I got closer, I could see actually they had, those special square graduation hats that people
Oh,
wear when they graduate. Well, these
yeah.
kids had these graduation hats on and like a graduation robe. I said, what is this? Yeah. And of course, I'm approaching, and I actually am taking a video too. And the kids are
Uh-huh.
starting to pay attention to me and come up to me. And so I asked the woman there, she had a little English, said, what's going on here? And I'm all the way back over on the side, I could see they were taking one kid at a time and doing a special photo of that kid, Oh, this is a celebration that they're 6 years old. So they put on these hats and these gowns, and it's 6 years old, and so it's like I did this thing, and I don't know, it took total of all the time, maybe 15 minutes, but it's probably something I'll remember a long time, right?
Yeah, 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 it
Mhm.
is. Yeah.
Um, it's like to allow your curiosity to follow it, which can be some courage. Oh well, those people may not want me interrupting them or whatever like that.
Uh-huh.
Like,
Yeah,
do you know what the expression be a what this expression means? To be a force in the world, to be reckoned with.
I don't know. I don't know.
It means like, watch out, world, here I come, like that. Okay. Or
Okay.
or if maybe as Steve Jobs says, our job is to put a dent in the universe. Like,
Okay.
but it can be a playful dent, right? It,
Yeah.
yeah, like that. What do you think?
Yeah. I found, yeah, yeah, think it's great. And actually, I think I found the days different is when I talk with you, on Friday. And
Okay.
I always found it's different. Yeah.
Okay.
So great.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, and and I'm pretty different and unique, but I've had some conversations even with some Vietnamese here recently, and there's this sort of an attitude that people sometimes have as well. It really takes a long time to get to know somebody, or you really have to look hard to find somebody special,
Mhm.
And but I have this attitude that if I have a chance to really be with somebody, like a stranger or whatever, for the first time, and we have a context where we can actually relax and get into a conversation, that I can ask them questions and invite them to, like, the thing about you ask me a personal question, I'll ask you a personal question, back and forth like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That you can find amazing people, you know. I mean, you look at
Uh-huh.
them on the outside, they don't look amazing, right?
Yeah.
Maybe you don't look amazing to them, but you say you have these conversations, and you take a
Yeah.
little risk, and yeah, and sometimes you'll meet with, no, I'm not interested in that sort of stuff, or but then go into the next, right? Plenty
Yeah.
of people,
Yeah.
especially in China.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and you can end up being like just around the corner of this moment, I could be shocked. I could be surprised. I could even surprise myself, in what's
Mhm.
possible that even I would do or think, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Exactly. Yeah.
um, it's a little bit way I think about the word miracle, like what is a miracle? And maybe miracles are happening all the time. We just don't notice them.
Yeah, I never
Or
thought about it.
or maybe the way I think things work very different than the way they actually.
Yeah.
So at least for me, these types of questions or thoughts stimulate things that are really interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, is that good enough for today?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
great. Yeah, thank you.
that's great.